Good afternoon, good morning, and definitely welcome. And I do hope everyone is staying safe through this pandemic that we're going through. It's a little bit crazy, but hey, we're still pushing through it. We're still rocking and rolling. So let's go ahead and get into our biggest topic that we're going to talk about right now. And that's going to deal with dimensions and making sure that we can check that they're accurate. A lot of people, what they don't realize is that when we go in to any Revit drawing, what we don't realize is there can be inconsistent dimensions. And so within this webinar, we're going to know what the correct dimensions are and what the right dimensions are to make sure that we know that our project will still be the same and still operate perfectly and get the proper information that we need to evolve this project to make sure that this project is running smoothly, operationally, and everything else. So let's go ahead and get into our goals here. We're gonna have our biggest goal that we're gonna look at, which I'll go ahead and explain in a little bit. But let's go into our little goals that we want to make sure we know, we see, we kind of feel like, all right, we can definitely understand. These are kind of some of the checkpoints that we need to see and understand for us to really know how one of these tools works and how everything operates. So the biggest thing that we need to know is understand the dimensions can be changed in Revit. Just like in AutoCAD, dimensions can be changed, adjusted, little smirks to kind of give false information. We don't want to believe it, but it is possible. So we need to make sure that, hey, for when we're starting out, we know what is what. Then we're also going to understand what functionality the dimension checker will and can provide. So we need to know what information is given, where we can find this information, what's really being pulled, what's really being shown, giving all of us extra information. And then we want to, know how to utilize the tool and call out what is needed for any markups or anything like that. The reason being for that is because we need to make sure that we get this out to the proper people that are making these mistakes and say, hey, what's wrong here? What's going on here? Why is this messed up? Why is this not showing the proper information? And we need to understand and get to the bottom of it. And then we also need to, for our biggest goal, is understanding that we can now fully see how accurate, our project is. So we can make sure that we have the correct calculations, the correct content, different things like that to make sure the overall project is successful, not only on your end, but other ends, so it doesn't come back and bite us or snip us in the butt. So we're going to go ahead and get into a demo here, kind of look at the tool, get everything going, and then we'll go ahead and review, get some questions in there, and get those rocking and rolling. So first thing to start us off is opening up Revit. As you can see here, I have dimensions already inside this little project. I have also dimensions all over inside this little setup to where, hey, we can see what's going on. So the first thing that we want to look at is a CTC software tool. That's right in the CTC software tab in the BIM manager suite, mostly for your high-end users and your BIM managers. And then under premium tools, we have the dimension checker. It's the exact first one, ready to go, ready to set up, and ready to rock and roll. So as soon as we open up that tool, we have this blank page. It doesn't pull the information that we want it to right away. We have to set up those settings. We have to set that up so we know, okay, this is what we're exactly looking for. So we want the actual value. We want to know what those are. We need to know what those are. If we do not know what those are, then how do we know it's accurate enough or what the actual dimension is? Because it'll just read us something completely different. I always, as well, highlight this, replace with text, because this will also find out if If there's anything else that's been changed or that's been kind of messed with or text has been added to, so I can at least highlight it and know, okay, for this set, it's, this is what it's going to be, even though it says this, and get that information. Then with the text fields itself, I can select which views they want, and I can match the fields as well. I typically leave this unchecked to make sure that I can see everything that's in here and running with it smoothly. And then I can include and exclude any wording or wordages that are in there. So if it's actual or anything else, I can put that in there and run with it. I also want to make sure the match case and match all phrases are left in there. So when I type it exactly, it finds it exactly. All right, that's kind of key when we need to make sure that things are properly spelled and everything else so we can find that detail and that information. So let's go ahead and click search because we're already ready down here, ready to rock and roll. And here's all the dimensions inside the project. As you can see, we have a lot of different stuff going on. We have different segments that show, hey, this is, a continuous segment going on. And then we have actual values of what everything is, and then any text replacing it. So this is kind of key when we want to make sure, hey, what is this going to? What is this setting up? For instance, let's start right here. This piece of dimension is saying that it's 6 foot when it's actually 7 foot. It's off, it's wrong, it's not showing the proper information, it's not showing the proper data. So we need to find where this is. Easily right up here on this show button takes us directly to it, takes us directly to that page to see it. What's also nice is I can hit the select button to specifically call out that dimension so I know what it is or where it is. So as you can see here, we know where it is, we can see where it is, we can adjust it as need be and run with it and make sure that everything's still running smoothly. We can even change that dimension and add extra stuff as well. So if I wanted to come in and actually adjust anything inside here, I can't do that. I have to do it outside in the actual dimension out here and do it through that way. Other dimensions are easily seen, run with, utilize, and keep going. We're also going to go into options here. We can remember the size and position of the main window. So that's basically nothing really else. With the other tools, they provide extra information, but with this tool, it's so simple, so easy to use, so easy to run with that we know, okay, hey, this is what it is, this is what it's running with, this is what it's utilizing, and can keep moving forward. What's also nice is if I go in here and select this segment dimension, we're going to go ahead and click show, and then click select to make sure we're at least selecting it properly. Come on, window. There we go. We can see that, hey, this is again continuation and it selects the entire line segment, not just one specifically. So when we have to call out the specific pieces of information that are wrong, incorrect, we can easily highlight that, make sure it's all running smoothly, and make sure everything is quite unique on that. Now, the reason being that I'm kind of touching on this subject is I've seen too many people try to rush drawings. We need to make sure that everything that we see, run, and utilize inside here, inside everything, as a BIM manager, we have to check. We have to check. Even though it's so hard to manage every project, we have to go back and make sure everything's running smoothly because that is our names inside these projects. That's our company name, that's our personal names, that's everything on us. So the biggest thing that we have to keep going over and over and over again is making sure we check all of this stuff. Make sure we see it thoroughly, we see it smartly, everything. So this is where we check it all, run with it all, and get everything. Now we can also save this report out. So if we wanted to and call this out, we can save this report to the desktop here, have it saved. Do we want to open it? Yes. And immediately we can have this report to say, hey, this specific, element ID is wrong. Let's go ahead, send it to them, call them out, and say, hey, what's going on with this? Why is it so off? Why is it so wrong? Is there something you guys are planning? Give us detail. This is very, very key that not a lot of people utilize, see, or even see that it's kind of chaos or in different formats. So make sure we have everything, we want to run with everything, we have everything set up and really utilize it. So we'll kind of go over the review of this. Again, get that extra setup. Inside the CTC software, premium tools in the BIM Manager suite. It's the first one, dimension checker. We also have to realize that we have to call out specific areas that we want to know and make sure. So if we want to make sure every detail is in there and every setup is in there, we can. So I'm just going to do this without text fields and see if anything's off, anything's running wrong, things like that. Now, since I took these text fields off, I can get a lot more. I see a lot more. So with everything in here, I can easily even call out more specifically what's going on. So I see that this dimension right here is off. Let's go ahead and look at it. Let's go ahead and check at it and see what's going on, because it says it's 6 foot off the floor, but really it's 8 feet. But it's a detailed drawing, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to go crazy over it. But if it was in the actual project and changed, I gotta know, I gotta let, my coworkers or somebody else who's in charge say, hey, this is off, this is wrong, fix it. We need to fix it now and immediately. So always remember, this is your saving grace on making sure everything's accurate. So when it comes further down the line, you're not the one in the fault. You're going to be saved. You're going to be like, no, I double checked, triple checked. Here's all of our stuff. I even brought these to you multiple times. It's not on us. So this is going to be that card. Hey, making sure everything is quite safe. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint here, and we're just going to go over and review some stuff here. So we know that dimensions can be changed in Revit and they can be altered. We saw it through all the text and all the information and even different dimensions to see, hey, something has changed. Hey, something is not, subtle here, something's not working here. We also looked into the functionality of that dimension checker to see, okay, what can it pull, what can it not pull? Is it pulling text in different spots? Is it not? Can we adjust that? Can we include words, exclude words? Take all that out. And then we understood some of the functionality to make sure our callouts are there. So we could see that save report. We could see and show which specific dimension is going on and what's wrong with it, to really highlight it and really show what is all going on. What kind of issues are we running into? What kind of problems are we needing to face, and see it through? And then coming into our finale, I want to thank you all for coming out here. Again, my name is Zachery Rico. I am a technical specialist here at ATG, and I really want to thank you guys for spending the time with me and actually sitting down and going through all this. Easily, you guys can go ahead and get a hold of me at my email address or shoot me a call. If you have any extra questions, any extra, hey, could this work, could this not work, dealing with not only the dimension checker, but other tools as well. Thank you guys so much for being here, sharing this time with me. Really do appreciate it, and make a great day or not. The choice is always yours.